have a new shirt. I'm doing this for educational purposes, so I'm putting on a jumper. Jumper achieved. I am professional. Hello. So something important is happening tomorrow. It is International Human Rights Day. Woo! I love human rights. And you know what? You love human rights, because without human rights, we would not have the society that we have today. I mean, the countries that do follow human rights. Oh, wait, that doesn't exist. What am I talking about? Well, let me explain. This is a document that I have purchased because I love human rights. It includes the Declaration of Human Rights, the Child's Charter, everything that you possibly can want, and I have taken to reading the actual Declaration of Human Rights. And it comes to my attention that very little countries in the world, actually no country in the world, follows every single human right. And I thought that for Human Rights Day, instead of doing what everybody else does and talk about how great it is, I'm going to talk about the limitations of human rights and the reasons why I believe that those limitations are there. I'm a very big believer in, if you don't like something, first understanding it and then being critical of it, as you guys have already heard time and time again. So, let's talk about human rights and their limitations. The first thing I would like to say about human rights is, of course, that the idea behind it is a great idea, but to what extent is the language in here limiting them? I want to pull up two different examples. First of all, in Article 16 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights, it says clearly, men and women of full age, without any limitation due to race, nationality, or religion, have the right to marry and to found a family. What's wrong with that? Well, the use of the words man and woman, language that excludes any other gender or sex, and obviously creates a very strange situation for gay marriage. Another one of my favorite examples when it comes to vague language is Article 26, where it says that education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages, elementary education shall be compulsory, and technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Now, my problem with that is, what does on the basis of merit mean? Do they mean intellectual merit or merit of any other sort? Different people see merit in different ways. Now you're starting to see with me that the language in the Declaration of Human Rights is very vague. It might shock some of you to learn that, as I said earlier in the video, in the West, as well as everywhere else, not everyone respects human rights. In fact, I can't find a single country that follows every single human right listed in the Declaration. But why is this? Are our governments lying to us? That idea is scary enough. An example of this political problem is climate change. Now, you might have seen everywhere around right now that there's been a bit of a shift in the human rights rhetoric across websites. Suddenly, people are linking human rights to climate change because we believe that quite literally they belong together, because not listening to one is not listening to the other. It's a very clever maneuver to get people to realize just how important caring about the environment is for us as a species. Which should be self-explanatory, but you can be cynical and say that the governments are just, and politics are absolutely awful, and I will probably jump on that bandwagon at some point, but I think there's a scarier concept here to think about. Because it's easy to blame everything on our governments, but what if there is a wider picture? What if the Declaration of Human Rights in itself is an idealistic dream where we're trying to build utopia, which, as we know, isn't actually possible? Are we trying to build a perfect world? Is that why people aren't following the Declarations of Human Rights? Is it a fallacy? Is it a dream to think that in any circumstance these rights could always be followed? The truth is, I don't know. But I can tell you that these rights, given proper infrastructure and economic stability and political motivation, can most definitely be followed. But how do we do that? I have an idea. And I'm not the first one to have this idea. On my phone today, I have downloaded an app which is going to help me, as well as all of you, to connect human rights to your daily life. It's not gibberish, but it's also very, very difficult. So kudos to governments, and thank you for trying, and we're gonna help you out as much as we can. So this app, I heard Hank and John Green talk about this, and I was absolutely on board 100%. Basically, the way it works is that there are 17 global goals that we want to achieve in 15 years, but the governments need our help. I'm a strong believer in the fact that we are A, very lucky to live in a democracy, if you do, and B, obliged to use our right to speak for helping, because you can't just expect your government to sort of hand everything to you on a silver platter. This is our job as well, to take matters into our own hands and give all of this care that we have towards fast-tracking this. So how do we do it? Well, by making videos, for example, by hashtags on Twitter. We need to start to show the world how much we care, and apps like the one that I will link down in the description can help us out. So, human rights. Happy Human Rights Day to all of the humans around the world. I include every single human individual in the whole world in this. And I hope that you use this video to realize that there are some limitations to human rights, vague language, etc., but that the concept of human rights is too beautiful of one to ignore. As humanity, in 1948, a dream was proposed, and I believe that we can make it a reality if we try. Happy Human Rights Day, everybody. I need my glasses.